You have not provided the returns for 2015 and 2016. Do you have them? Or you would like to bring them back next time you come?
We should have it in the office.
Okay.
We'll provide them.
You're required to provide them.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted the statutory documents comprising the Memorandum and Articles of Association of Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company Gambia Limited. The amended, I'd just like to correct that, the amended Memorandum of Association of Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company Limited, dated 9 July 2015. 6 July 2015 and filed on the 9 July 2015. Transfers of shares, business registration, and certificate of incorporation. And accompanying documents. I would also like to have admitted the Memorandum and Articles of Association of Multimedia Gateway Incorporation, Certificate of Business Registration, and incorporation certificate, together with GPPA registration documents.
Memorandum and Articles of Association of Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company, Gambia Limited, dated 6 July 2015, plus other incorporation documents. Admitted Mark MS 167A. Memorandum and Articles of Association of Multimedia Gateway Incorporation, dated 23rd June 2014, plus other incorporation documents. Admitted Mark MS 167B.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Jassy, I'd just like you to refer to the amended Memorandum of Association for Mobicel Blue and the attached documents. Do you have a transfer of shares that's registered? For the share transfer that purported to have taken place between yourself and Momodu Madisise, yes, and Balajase and Rabia Tufati.
I believe the legal counsel should be able to provide such document. I could remember that when we were doing the transactions, there are a few papers we did sign pertaining to the transfer of shares.
I have two papers here. One is a resolution, said to be a resolution of the shareholders meeting, I believe. Yes, shareholders meeting, and an affidavit sworn to by Momodu Madisise concerning the death of Keba Ncise. But what I don't see is a registered transfer of shares indicating that the right taxes were paid. Did that happen? Do you know? You'll be required to produce the share transfers,
okay.
Registered share transfers.
Okay.
As regards the affidavit on the death of Keba Ncise, is that all you have?
I'm not getting you, ma'am.
There is an affidavit saying that Keba Ncise died in 2012.
Yes.
And that
yes,
before he died, he had indicated he was not interested in 5% shares in Mobicel Blue.
Yes.
These are affidavits sworn to by Momodu Madisise and yourself.
Yes.
My question is that all you have
That's all
to
what I
support
have,
the transfer of his shares
That's
back
what I
to
have.
yourself?
That's all what I have.
Was his estate involved at all in the transfer of shares back to yourself?
I'm not hearing, ma'am. Yeah.
He died, you said, in 2012. You know, when you die, you leave an estate, your beneficiaries. Were they involved in the transfer of shares from him back to yourself?
I could recall that his sons and daughter were all contacted. And I believe a document was produced, but hence we moved from where we were before. And then I hardly stay in the Gambia. Usually every 2 weeks I'm out of the country. And in general, I don't take possession of those kind of documents. When we moved from the old office to where we are now, we found it very difficult to lay hands on those kind of documents. But I believe such kind of transaction did take place.
I hear what you're saying. But when you transfer shares, there are certain legal formalities that are expected if a person dies. I don't see them.
I'd
suggest, just listen please, I'd suggest you at least look into that and sort it out if possible.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
And we would like evidence that they're sorted out, because as to the ownership of the company as a date.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you. We'll move on to, you'll provide the missing documents, and we will move on to the substance of why you're here.
No.
Which of these companies have a relationship with MGI International, a company that was managing the international gateway?
Both Multimedia Gateway and Mobicel do have a connection with MGI Swiss.
What is the connection?
Our connection with MGI Swiss is purely technical.
What do you mean by that? Do you have a contract?
We do have contracts in various countries where they have to implement their services, as well as for the Gambia.
Okay. So how many contracts do you have between these two companies and MGI?
For the Gambia or for other countries?
For the Gambia.
For the Gambia, I believe we have two contracts.
Okay.
Two contracts. One with Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless and one with Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
I'm going to show you two exhibits, SC68B and SC68H. SC68B is Management Service Agreement, subcontracting of technical and logistics support for the implementation of an International Gateway Assistance Program project. 1 MGI Telecom AG, 2 Multimedia Gateway Incorporated, 3 Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company Limited. That is what it says, October 2014. That's SC68B. And XC68H is SC68H is similarly a contract on a management service agreement. In similar terms, but between MGI Telecom AG and Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company, Gambia Limited, May 2014. Do you know those contracts?
I do know them, ma'am.
Okay.
These are the same contracts we have.
These are the contracts that you have?
We do have with MGI Swiss.
Let's start with the May 2014 agreement. Now, both these exhibits, these contracts, seem to have the same subject matter: subcontracting of technical and logistical support for the implementation of an International Gateway Assistance project. What is the difference between these two contracts?
As I said, to operate certain platform, it requires certain qualified engineers.
What is the difference between these two?
The difference between the two contracts.
One is dated May 14, 2014. The other is October 2014. One is between MGI Telecom and Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company, Gambia Limited. The other seems to have MGI Telecom, Mobicel Blue Ocean, and Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
The difference is this particular one is only for the Gambia.
Which one? It has an exhibit number. If you look at the cover page, it has an exhibit.
2014 SC68B.
Okay. It's for?
Only for the Gambia.
It's for Gambia?
Yes.
Only?
Only for the Gambia.
Okay.
This is only for the Gambia territory.
And the other one?
The other one entails countries like Guinea-Bissau.
Does it apply to Gambia?
Pardon?
The May 2014 one, which is SC 68H. Does it apply to Gambia?
68H. No.
The one dated May 2014.
SC68H, May 2014.
Yes.
This one applies to countries like Guinea-Bissau.
Does it apply to Gambia?
Sorry.
No.
The exhibit referred to, you say 68H.
68H.
It would appear that we have 67H.
Okay, I don't have the one that's marked. What is marked? What is the number on your...
SC68H.
All right, we'll go by that. Thank you. And it's dated what?
May 2014.
All right.
Sorry, what was the question? I missed it. Okay. Okay. Could you tell us which clauses? Let's start with May 2014. Right? Could you tell us which clause in the agreement indicates that it applies only to other African countries other than the Gambia? Clause?
Exhibit A.
Sorry? Clause?
Exhibit A, the last page.
Okay.
Exhibit A, 33.
Okay. All right. Very well. Let's go to October 2014. That's Exhibit SC68B. That page 11, second to last page?
Yes.
Territory Gambia.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. In terms of the management service agreement for Gambia, which you said is 68B, and which indicates so in the annex, or call it page 11, I believe, of the agreement. Could you tell this commission what specifically? Firstly, who is the contractee? If you look at the first paragraph, you have MGI Telecom AG contractor, Multimedia Gateway Incorporation, MGIG, and Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless Company Limited, referred to also as, both of them referred to as subcontractors. These are two companies that you own.
Yes, Multimedia Gateway and Mobicel.
Yes. How is this contract executed? Can you explain which company does what exactly for MGI Swiss?
As I said, Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless, most of the staff working for Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless do not have the required certifications like myself to be able to work on higher level design when it comes to voice and data networks. And I've been working with MGI for a while, but I realized that their requirements are becoming always bigger and bigger. I always have to hire other engineers either from Kenya, from Senegal, to be able to work with them. That's what the spirit behind putting in place multimedia gateway incorporations. And I decided to employ young Gambian engineers that I trained also to get to my level, even probably better than myself, to be able to carry out those works for MGI Swiss. And in relation, anytime we have a project, not only with MGI, even with UN, these are the same people that are working with me on all these projects. When it comes to cabling infrastructure, I use the Mobicel team. I have to design, define the requirement, the type of network, and the topology. And they have to implement it according to the standard. Another auditor will come inspect whether the network we built in place do comply with the best practices. Once we have our certification, the time will come and deploy the switching backfeed and other application that is required by the client.
So you are saying the only difference is the qualification of the staff? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, most of them.
So which of these companies was actually carrying out work for MGI Swiss?
It depends.
It would appear, the evidence before this commission is that various contracts were carried out by MGI Swiss according to them. And at least 5 of those were done by yourself, your companies. Now you have 1 contract and you have 2 companies. What we would like to understand is the dynamics of the relationship between your companies and MGI Swiss. So which of these companies was working for MGI Swiss in terms of the contracts that were executed in Gambia, starting with the International Gateway Management, and you also had the e-government project, you had the DPI, you had the fraud prevention and detection, and you had the INMC projects that it would appear, we'll come to them, were executed by your companies. So which of these companies was working with MGI?
As I said, being Mobicel or multimedia gateway, anytime a specific qualification is required, we have to use either Mobicel or MGI. Both of them have been working on projects that are related to MGI Swiss.
So you have not allocated any contract to either a specific company. They were both working on all the contracts. Is that what you're saying?
Not exactly, Ma. It depends on the technical requirement. If I don't have the qualification within Mobicel, I always have to rely on the multimedia gateway incorporation engineers that I've personally trained and then know their capabilities.
All right. Let's take them one at a time. On the International Gateway Management, International Gateway Management of the Gamtel International Gateway that MGI was appointed to manage. Which of your companies was carrying out the required technical support services for the gateway?
I don't know whether the Commission would allow me to elaborate a little bit on the gateway.
If you can answer first, which of your companies was responsible?
As I said initially, both of these companies have been involved in the technical implementation of the gateway. Both Multimedia Gateway and Mobicel.
Do you have a specific contract for the management of the gateway, or is this the contract that covers your support to the managers of the gateway?
I think in this contract there is a specific clause whereby MGI specifically even said that we are not even acting as an agent, we are just a technical support. As I said,
I need to understand, Mr. Jassy, maybe you're not paying attention to what I'm saying too closely.
Yeah.
What I need to understand, you have two companies.
Yes.
And you know there are certain obligations, duties, liabilities arising from being a company.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to understand which of your companies was giving the support that was required to MGI Swiss to manage the gateway.
I would be able to answer to such a question if there is a specific project that is put in question.
Sorry, may I cut in?
Yes.
Is there any need for the two entities to be separated? Is there a complementarity or some difference that necessitates the two? Why couldn't you amalgamate them? You are the principal shareholder in both.
Yes.
Tell us the necessity for Mobicel and MGI Gambia as opposed to being an integrated company.
At the initial stage, I was the only engineer of certain expertise working for Mobicel. And when I started working on certain projects, I decided that I should set up a different company which requires more qualified engineers than the one that are working for Mobicel. In our field, some of the jobs require specific certifications. And you don't always go around the street corner to get those kind of engineers. To engage them, I could not do it with Mobicel because we didn't have the financial muscles, first of all, and I have to engage them on specific projects. That's the reason I put in place Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
So after opening Multimedia, why didn't you just absorb Mobicel into it so it becomes one company? The question is, why do you need to have the two?
I believe I'm still not well understood. As I said, the certified engineers that have been working for Multimedia Gateway Incorporations, I cannot employ them within Mobicel. Their treatments, the different classes they have to go through, and the various certification they have to go through.
The certification enables you win contract.
Yes.
It does not stop you from having one company. Within one company, integrated, you can have both qualified and unqualified engineers. So now are you saying if you had one company, it will dilute your ability to win contracts because of the certification? The certification is about individuals. It's not about the company name. So my question is, why do you need two companies? One where you have 90% shareholding and another where you have 90 and 95.
The reason why we have two companies, as I said...
What is the difference between the two? It cannot be qualification of engineers.
Oh yes, sir. I'm sorry to say that, but Mobicel staff, most of them are trained on cabling structure. Not on IP backbone, not on switching, not on routing or transmission. If I have certain project, I always have to hire other engineers to complement my personal efforts.
But that does not stop you from having Alpha Beta company, having people with those classifications.
Now, I'm sorry to say that maybe you are not in our field, but definitely...
I don't need to be in your field to understand how you set up a company.
That is a trend in IT sector today.
Okay, so you
cannot run a consultancy firm and becoming a system integrator at the same time. You have to differentiate them, even for the clients.
There is a local regulation stopping you from having a company with them, or is it your specialty that requires you to have the two?
It's my specialty because the client that I usually work for, like you and others, they hardly deal with institutions that are not in their data system. Okay. You have to have a track record to be able to...
I want to understand one thing. Which of the two companies did you first create?
Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless.
Mobicel?
Yes.
I see. We see here that Mobicel was incorporated in 2015.
No, this is probably the certificate of renewal, but Mobicel was...
The certificate, or you deny that?
No, I'm not denying,
well, it's all right. It was not incorporated. I'm saying from the documents we have seen,
Yeah.
It was incorporated on 6 July 2015. If you do not agree, you tell us. Do you agree?
So, sorry, Mr. Chairman, that's an amended memorandum.
Oh, that's the amended?
Yes.
Very well.
It's
so when was it incorporated? Do we have that?
Around 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
All right.
He's undertaking to provide the copy of the original memorandum and articles, which he has to obtain from the registrar, he said.
All right. But in the meantime, he's telling us the date.
Yes.
What is the date?
2011, I believe.
First date. 2011.
11.
Thank you. You may continue.
Which of these is the consultancy company, you said, and which of these is the... You said one is a consultancy company, is that what you said?
Basically, I do carry out the consultancy with Mobicel, personally, myself. Then when it comes to implementation, if I don't have the resources within Mobicel, I resort to inviting other engineers in the various fields, as well as multimedia gateways engineers if they are qualified to implement such projects.
Maybe I'm not understanding you very well. You told, in answer to a question by Commissioner Sen, about the differences between the two companies. You elaborated, or you explained that there was a need in your industry to separate, you know, I suppose the work that companies do. Is that what you say?
Yes, I'll give you...
No, don't give me an example. I just need to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, you said one is a consultancy company and the other is what?
Now, at the same time, you can be a consultant and system integrator. It depends on the client. If you are trusted enough to design something and implement it and certify it, if you are honest enough and you've proven record, most of clients will deal with you.
Okay. Now, you are saying Blue Ocean Wireless is what? A consultancy company?
Initially, I was carrying out consultancy. I didn't have any engineers of my level implementing certain projects for me. I always have to be away or ask them to award the contract to other people.
Okay. Did Blue Ocean provide services? Mobicel Blue Ocean, did it provide technical services apart from consulting?
Not really, except the cabling infrastructure and then deploying few basic. I wouldn't say at the initial stage, no. Now, yes, we do have engineers that are properly trained to be able to carry out similar projects like multimedia gateway incorporation.
So both companies do the same thing?
Now, yes. We have the same resource capacity, the same human resource capacity.
Okay, let's go back to the international gateway. Which of these companies work in the international gateway? Both or one of them?
Both.
Okay. Now, in terms of the international gateway, what exactly do you do for MGI Swiss?
As I said, we only give them technical support. If MGI has a particular project to be implemented.
I'm not talking about political project, I'm talking about the management of the gateway.
No, we have never been involved in the management of the gateway if it is not technical. Not a single moment Mobicel or MGI, Gambia has been involved in the management of the gateway.
The gateway, MGI Swiss, did they have staff on the ground?
Basically, they outsource the technical management to Multimedia Gateway Gambia.
Good. And the document that covers the outsourcing of the management of the gateway is this? Is that what you're saying? Or do you have another document?
No, this is what we have. As I said, our job is limited to technical issued.
Mr. Jassy, you've already said so. I just need to understand the scope of this agreement.
Yeah, this is what
yes,
we have.
you've said they have outsourced the work they were required to do in the Gambia to MGI, your company.
To Multimedia Gateway.
Yes. Now, this exhibit SC 68 that you looked at, B, is that the only agreement that covers your relationship with MGI Swiss?
Yes, this is what I have from MGI Swiss.
This is the only agreement that covers your relationship. Okay. Now, since they outsourced it, my understanding is that you do everything, Multimedia Gateway does everything MGI Swiss was required to do in the Gambia on the ground.
When it comes to technical matters.
Okay, is there any aspect of the operations on the ground that they do directly?
Yes, we had a team in place that was located at ACE building.
Go ahead.
At the INMC. A team of engineers mixed with Gamtel engineers that were working on the day-to-day operation of the gateway.
This team of engineers, were they working for Multimedia Gateway Incorporation or MGI Swiss?
Technically, I would say they were interacting with MGI Swiss, but they were under Multimedia Gateway Incorporation's technical support.
Okay. So this means that you are responsible for managing their contracts, paying their fees when it comes to remuneration. Is that correct?
You mean the engineers working at the INMC?
Yes.
Yes. Multimedia Gateway was paying their salaries.
Okay. Now, what we haven't seen in the agreement that you have submitted to us is the financial aspect of the arrangement between yourself and MGI Swiss in relation to the services that were outsourced to you. Can you provide the documents relating to the financial arrangement between yourself and MGI Swiss?
No, we don't have such document. As I said, if there is a specific project, we prepare our invoices, including the material cost. Either they provide the materials or we provide the materials. And our engineering service fees are also included in our offer. Once it is accepted, we have to go on site and implement it for them technically.
Mr. Jassy, I'm not talking about specific projects. I'm talking about managing the gateway. Under the management agreement that MGI Swiss has with Gamtel, they are the gateway managers, and for which they were being paid monthly fees. And when the traffic exceeded a certain amount, they were also paid additional. They earned additional fees. Now that has nothing to do with specific projects undertaking. Now, they have also showed us a list of the projects that are undertaken, but I'm not talking about that now.
I'm not getting you, ma, properly.
Okay. All right, let me start again. I'm sorry about that. Okay. You said the management of the gateway was outsourced to you.
Technically. Ma.
Now,
have to be very clear about that. Technically.
Yes.
Yes. We have not been involved in any financial aspect of the management of the gateway.
Okay. All right, we understand that. You said it was outsourced to you and to Multimedia Gateway Incorporation. I think I should be specific. And that you were responsible for the technical staff on the ground.
Yes.
And they were paid through your company.
Yes.
Now, to the extent that the management of the gateway was outsourced to you, and you were being paid by MGI Swiss to manage the gateway and pay the experts that were brought in to manage the gateway, and I presume the employees that you hired. You were doing it for money, for remuneration that they paid. Now, what I need to understand is the financial arrangement you had for managing the gateway. Let's leave projects alone for the time being. We'll come to the projects. What is the financial arrangement you had that existed between Multimedia Gateway Incorporation and MGI Swiss?
The financial arrangement as such, I would say we didn't have any specific financial arrangement with them. We only bill them on services we render to them on a monthly basis. The time we spent on site, the technical problem we attended to make sure that there is a smooth operation of the gateway with the different operators that are on the ground.
Okay. All right, you build them. At least I think we're making progress there. What is this billing based on?
It depends on the number of hours our engineers do spend on site, and if any technical issues rise, our intervention, once the problem is sorted out, we have to prepare an invoice and send it to them.
Okay. I would assume that that arrangement is reflected in a document, the fee, the rates that you are to be paid, what you could charge and what you could not charge.
No,
I assume it's reflected in a document.
No, because in IT field, it depends of your level of education and productivity.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
IT field, when it comes to remuneration for services, is not different from any other field. What I want you to explain to this commission and provide to this commission is the basis on which you build MGI and MGI paid you.
That's where I'm coming, ma'am. As I said, in IT field, my own field that I can talk of, if we have certain level of education and expertise, the time you spend on a project, you charge per hour. And it also depends on the complexity of the technical issue you have to address. That's how we've been working with MGIs. In all these countries we've been working with them. There is not a single moment that we've been given a monthly payment on anything. They pay us based on the invoice we give them and the work we carried out.
So let me just intervene so that we'll understand a bit. You have just confirmed that Mobicel was incorporated in 2011. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And you said because of lack of expertise, except for you were the expert. All the others lacked expertise. And the company was just limping, so to say. Then, in 2014, you formed MGI Gambia. Is that correct?
Multimedia Gateway Incorporation Gambia.
MGI.
No, it's Multimedia Gateway.
I know that. I say, if you were to have an acronym, it will be MGI. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it a coincidence that your company is, as far as an acronym is concerned, MGI? Is there a coincidence between that MGI and the MGI Swiss?
I would call it a coincidence because the concept about Multimedia Gateway Incorporation has nothing to do with MGI Swiss.
So you wouldn't call it, I didn't get it, would you call it a coincidence or not?
I would call it a coincidence.
A coincidence?
Yes.
That will be well. You take it up from there.
I want to jump in. In terms of this technical qualification that you have, earlier in your introduction, you mentioned you have 20 years experience. Can you elaborate a bit on your educational and professional background, backing these 20 years? Please tell us.
I'm not getting you, sir.
You have 20 years experience.
Yeah.
And you mentioned in your IT field, when you get to a certain level of qualification or education, it enables you to bill per assignment or per hour, as you said. So your 20 years, we don't know what's behind in terms of professional and educational background. So can you tell us who you are behind the 20 years?
I do hold a bachelor degree in maths, physics, and also 2 master's degrees. one master's degree from EPLF of Lausanne, École Polytechnique de Formation Professionnelle de Lausanne, is a French-speaking area of Swiss, in telecommunication engineering, and that was early 1996. I was among the top 10 and selected by a company called Swissair. I was posted in Senegal as Director of Operation for the hub, covering 18 countries. By then I was 22 years, 8 months, something like that, when I did my first master's degree. Then Swissair collapsed in 1999. I took 2 additional years to go to a French school called École Nationale d'Informatique Supérieure de Radio, Communication et d'Électronique. Is also an engineering school, because in our field you keep on updating yourself on a daily basis if you want to stay in the market. I also did a master's degree there in computer science, telecommunication engineering, radio communication, electronic and electricity. And when I got my master's degrees, I was hired by Alcatel early 2002-2003. I was sent in Mali to work on the public switching telecommunication network of Malitel as chief project engineer before the African Cup of Nations. With a team of other engineers, we built the public switching telecommunication network between Bamako, Seware, Balandugu, Mopti and Kai, enable the National Telecommunication Company and the TV services to be able to broadcast the football matches online. After that, I went back to Swiss. And a few months later, I was hired by Schlumberger for a petroleum company called Shell. As a headhunter, we were sent to Port Harcourt for 6 months. When I came back, I was established in Dakar, and Alcatel took over again. I was based there as one of the lead engineers for the West African regions. We were designing all the public switching telecommunication networks for most of the projects that Alcatel was running out in the African region, especially in the French-speaking countries.
In Schlumberger, you left.
Pardon?
In Schlumberger, in Nigeria.
Schlumberger, yes, 1999.
You left the IT field. You went into human resources.
Yes. No, not human resources.
What did you do for them?
Pardon?
In Port Harcourt, what did you do?
Schlumberger is a company like they are like headhunters. We were identified by headhunters.
I know them. What did you do for them in Port Harcourt?
No, in Port Harcourt, I was working like for a petroleum company called Shell.
As what?
Oil company.
As what?
As telecom engineer.
Telecoms engineer.
Working on the transmission capacities on the oil wells with other petrochemical engineers. Okay. It was a team of engineers. Yeah.
When did you start working for Gambia?
For Gambia.
I see Mali, Senegal, Nigeria.
When I started working for Gambia.
Yeah. When did you start working in Gambia?
Gambia, I would say, even when I was in Dakar, I was covering Gambia when I was working for Swissair as Director of Operation. By then, Mamset Diallo was the Director General of GCA.
Roughly which year?
That was 1996 to 1999, before Swissair collapses. And when I joined Alcatel again, I started working on projects for Alcatel, but I was not directly involved with the Gambian telecom sector. They call it Alcatel Consulting. We were a team of engineers. Some are transmission specialists, switching specialists, routing specialists, and other fields. We have to work on a project that is given to us, assigned to us with your specification, with your qualifications, and then you submit your report. And only out of that, the R&D, Research and Development Unit, will come and combine to give a comprehensive report to the final client. And when we get to that stage, then the particular engineer is identified to go and implement it.
Okay. So far, sounds like a very rich experience. Now, can you just narrow in the so-called technical qualification that you said positioned you to be able to win those contracts? The ones you possess and the others didn't possess.
I'm not getting away what you call so-called qualifications.
No. You said there was a technical experience that you had that the others didn't have, and that is what positioned you uniquely to win the contracts with MGI. It's not the masters, it's not the bachelor.
I never said that I had a qualification that others do not have. People that were working with me, I knew they were not to that level to be able to carry out those projects.
That's precisely what I'm saying. When I say others, it is relevant to your company.
With me at Mobicel.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Because they're all cabling staff, most of them.
They didn't possess the master's or bachelor's degree you had?
No. Just a young chap, I trained them, initially how to lay down the cables, terminate the sockets, conduct the tests to confirm that the cabling structure is according to the standard.
Okay, now can you fast forward to the year that brought you into contact with MGI Swiss with relevance to the Gambia Gateway?
Okay, to come to that, I was identified by one headhunter called Hamid Koki, who is in UK. People go online, check on your profile, and when you work on various projects, from word of mouth, you are recommended to certain people. Though I did my studies in Switzerland, I never met the MGI people. I was working, first of all, for Swisscom. And from there, I was sent to Algeria for Sonatrach. It was also an oil company. I only knew MGI Swiss through one British guy called Hamid Koki, who contacted me around 2010, 2011, that MGI is interested into working towards project that has to do with the Gambia. And I was assigned to conduct a consultancy and feasibility studies for him, which I did not directly with MGI, but with his company. And I submitted my report to him, and that's how I get in touch with MGI Swiss.
Thank you. It's a very rich experience.
Sorry. What's your nationality?
Me? I'm a bona fide Gambian dad.
Sorry?
I said I'm a bona fide Gambian dad. I grew up in the French-speaking area of Swiss, the Geneva side. That's why I have the French accent, but I'm a bona fide Gambian.
I'm not challenging your bona fides, please. I just asked, what is your nationality? You are a Gambian?
Yes, I'm a Gambian.
And you do not have any other nationality?
No.
No other passport?
Never.
Very well.
I have a resident permit, but it's an option in Europe. It depends. If you want, you take. But I never took any second nationality. I'm proud of my Gambian nationality. My kids, yes, they do, but not myself.
Now, all the time you were working for some organizations outside the Gambia.
Yeah.
Is it true that you do not have any other company anywhere else in the world apart from these two companies?
No. In other countries, what happens?
No. I don't want any more stories, please. I'm just asking.
No, I don't have any.
That is correct.
That's correct. I don't have any company outside.
And the first company you ever created was this blue, Mobicel Blue company, is it?
Yes, Mobicel.
That's the only one?
Yeah.
I see.
There was a previous one here in the Gambia called Global Interconnect.
Yes, it's all right.
Yes.
So you left all those jobs and came to the Gambia for the purpose of setting up a company in the Gambia, Mobicel.
Pardon?
Did you leave all those jobs you were doing for other companies in many parts of the world to come back to the Gambia to set up a company of your own?
Yes.
Is that right?
I did not come to the Gambia, to be honest with you, to work here. I was called by my late mom to come before she passes away. My family members are watching over me. I had to resign from Cisco to come back to the Gambia, to stay around.
To stay here because of the funeral, is it?
No, not the funeral. That was her last wishes. It's a private story. I had even to divorce from my first wife because of that. She wouldn't want to come and settle down in the Gambia. I had to follow my mom's desire.
I see.
Yeah. But
it was your mom's desire.
Yes.
That after she passed away, you would come to the Gambia.
No. I came well before she passed away. I stayed around for a few years. Then I started working on project with colleagues that have been working with me.
You stayed around for a few years?
Yes.
After your odyssey in other parts of the world?
Pardon?
It's all right. I'm asking, when you came and before you set up this company, what were you doing?
I was doing consultancy service for a lot of companies.
In the Gambia?
Basically, yes, with the previous company I established called Global Interconnect. There was a company called Global Interconnect I was running here in the Gambia.
Oh, so there was another company you were involved in, apart from these two companies?
Yes.
And it was called what?
Global Interconnect.
Was it incorporated?
Yes, it was incorporated.
I see. And you had some jobs with some companies in the Gambia?
Yes, most
Can you give us an example?
We did some project for Guaranty Trust Bank.
Who?
Guaranty Trust Bank.
Yes.
Most of the private exchange in their branches, we were carrying out those kind of jobs and their networks.
Which year was that?
I would say early 2002, 2003, 2004, something like that.
2004?
Yes, something like that.
Yes, Trust Bank. Which
Trust
other,
Bank.
Which other bank?
GT.
Or which other entity or company?
For Standard Chartered Bank as well. And the Gambia Police Forces. And UN as well.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Jassy, can we go back to Exhibit SC68B? You have a copy in your hand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you look at page 3, clause 3, it says compensation and reimbursement of expenses and payment procedures. You see that?
Okay. Compensation and reimbursement of expenses
and payment procedures.
Yes.
And it says A, compensation referred to as fees. The fees associated with related services hereunder shall be defined and outlined in the attached Exhibit B. The fee is the sole remuneration provided to the subcontractor under this agreement, and the subcontractor shall be responsible for any taxes, charges, costs, or other payments resulting from this agreement. Now let's go to Exhibit B, which is at page 11. I believe you can confirm that. Is that the Exhibit B that is being referred to? Yes? Okay. Now Exhibit B says services and responsibilities. And you have 6 items under Exhibit B. And one says you should provide satisfactory technical support, logistics and management services as requested by MGI and its affiliates. And 2, you should provide adequate accommodation facilities and make to MGI, its affiliates, project staff at locations and places which are all secure and safe. 3, you should assign dedicated human resources for the exclusive use of MGI, such as drivers, etc. 4, you should provide support to MGI to clear from customs any materials, equipment. And basically those are the 5 main elements, and then any contract has to be negotiated. So let's focus on these 4. And if you go back, you were supposed to also submit your invoices on a monthly basis. Yes, every 15th of the month. Is that correct? You're supposed to submit invoices every 15th of the month. Now, what I don't find in this agreement, as I said, was the rates you had agreed with MGI for all this support you were providing, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, you were managing the gateway on behalf of MGI. Now, this commission would like you to provide all the financial documents you have with MGI in terms of the invoices you submitted from the beginning of this contract, your management of the gateway, to the time this gateway contract was, the international gateway contract between Gambia government and MGI were terminated. If you don't understand any aspect of what I have said, please ask.
I would like to explain a bit about this. This is a general kind of general document when it comes to signing agreement with MGI, probably other companies. It's not something that I have to go by later. As I said, I was purely technically involved. It is a list of responsibilities that was listed out, but it didn't mean that I have been handling all these responsibilities.
You said in this commission today that you provided technical support, logistical support.
No, that is when they call,
please.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said?
What they call logistic support.
Did you say that you provided technical support and logistical support for MGI Swiss in Ghana?
What I mean by logistical support, when they need drivers.
Mr. Jase, please, let's listen to each other so that we can make progress. We have made very little progress today.
Yeah.
You just need to listen carefully. You are here to assist the commission.
Yeah.
You understand? You set up a company in order to work with MGI.
Yeah.
And one expects that you were paid for your services. Yeah. You have a contract which you have provided. You just need to understand the nature of the services you provided and the remuneration you receive from MGI. You did not do it for free. Nobody expects you to have done it for free. Now, what you did not provide, notwithstanding that you provided documentation to the investigators, and which the investigators have asked you to provide, are the financial records between yourself and MGI. Now, Exhibit B, page 11, lists out the support you are required to give.
Yes.
The contract at page 4 says, Page 4. Look at page 4, paragraph C.
Yes.
That you should invoice for your services.
Yes, ma'am.
And be paid.
Yes.
You have been invoicing MGI since 2014 to 2017 when their contract was terminated. Is that correct?
No, we haven't started, let's say, invoicing them since 2014. As I said.
When did you start invoicing them?
I would say, based on the project we've been given, ma'am, that's out of that line we do provide them invoices. It's not a monthly invoice that we have to give them, except for the fuel consumption at the INMC that we have to pay on monthly basis, on weekly basis, and they have to provide a budget for that. The generators that were there, and the cash power.
You were outsourced. You said you were outsourced the management of the gateway.
The technical management of the gateway, ma'am.
Yes. You were outsourced the management of the gateway. Is there any other management apart from technical management?
I wouldn't know, ma'am. I mean, I'm a technical person. I was only involved in technical issues.
Is there any other management apart from technical?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. So let's just talk about outsourcing the management here in Gambia. Now, what were you paid for the outsourcing?
We were paid for our technical services.
Okay. What are these services?
They are all engineering-related services. How the day-to-day operation of the machines, the observation on the traffic trunks, the traffic statistics to confirm that all the operators' capacities are in line with the requirements. That's all what we were doing.
Okay. And you started this service from when? What month? Because we know MGI came in May 2014. They started their services in May 2014. Now, when did you start?
I would say early.
Please defer to your records.
Early 2015, because by then the gateway was not fully implemented. The gateway was not fully implemented.
MGI had managers on the ground?
There were sending engineers on the ground.
Who was paying these engineers?
MGI Swiss.
Okay. Now we want evidence to show that when you started managing for MGI, okay? And we would like to see the invoices that you submitted to MGI. Okay. All the invoices you submitted to MGI.
Okay.
All right. Just so that we make more progress when you come back.
Okay.
You'll be required to come back next week, Thursday. That will give you sufficient time to provide all these invoices and the payments received. Apart from the outsourcing of the gateway, MGI provided in their report that they had 8 projects here in Gambia, and 4 of those projects were carried out by Mobicel or MGI, the multimedia company. Which of them carried out these projects?
I need to know the particular project to be able to answer to that question.
Fair enough. The e-government project?
The e-government was implemented by Mobicel.
Both phase 1 and which one is this? Is it the phase 2 or the phase 1?
Phase 1 and phase 2.
Which of the phases fell under MGI?
The phase 2.
Phase 2. Okay. The DPI project. Which of the companies?
The DPI project was, first of all, awarded to an American company called Afrimat.
Which of these, your companies, carried out the DPI project?
Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
Okay. Fraud prevention and detention. Which of your companies carried it out?
As such, we were not involved. It was Gamtel that was handling that part of it. It was their engineers who were deploying those servers in the respective operators' network. That is a wrong perception.
What we have, and the evidence before this commission so far, is that you were involved, or you carried out the fraud prevention and detection project on behalf of MGI. In other words, if you would listen, in other words, whatever MGI had to do, you did, one of your companies did on their behalf.
I probably would say that is the wrong perception, because we were only coming on board when there are serious technical issues.
So you were involved in the management of the project?
On the technical part, yes.
Okay. Which of your companies was involved?
Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
INMC, the INMC project, which one of your companies was involved?
To build the network, Mobicel was involved, but operated, the Multimedia Gateway engineers were the one that was seated there.
Okay. Is there any other contract or any other project that you executed on behalf of MGI that I have not mentioned?
In the Gambia?
Yes, in the Gambia.
Apart from those projects, I could not recall any particular one.
Okay.
When it comes to.
All right. You have provided some invoices. You need to put them in order. Some documents to show that payments were received from MGI. But what we would want from you is an account of all the payments you received from MGI in relation to these 5 projects, these 4 projects that I have mentioned.
I believe we provided those details. They are in our file. The file we submitted to the investigators. We did attach the payment received from MGI pertaining to each and every project, and the amount paid out to our potential suppliers.
What I have is for National Assembly project, which has nothing to do with MGI. Office of the President, phase 1. Maybe the e-government project, I have that. But that's all I have. Did you provide anything else? E-government,
the material
National Assembly.
The DPI as well. They are part of this
E-Government, National Assembly. That's all I have. E-Government, National Assembly. E-Government Phase 1, E-Government Phase 2, National Assembly. And Security Enhancement at State House. I don't have anything for DPI, Fraud Prevention, INM.
For the DPI, as I said.
I heard what you said. But you said one of your companies provided technical support.
Yes.
So I expected that that company was paid by MGI Swiss. So could you provide?
Everything is included. You can sit with investigators and then show them one by one.
No, please. Can you provide an account to this commission of what you received in respect of each of these contracts? Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Because we have figures from MGI as to how much they paid for each of these contracts.
Okay.
If you're interested, you could contact the investigators for those figures.
Okay.
All right. You also please send me a copy of the documents, copies of the documents that you're required to provide before Thursday, and bring the originals to the commission, but send the investigators copies of the documents before Thursday.
I'm not hearing properly.
Okay. I'm saying the documents that you've been required to provide today, send copies to the investigators before next week, Thursday.
Okay.
But on Thursday, bring the originals to this commission, including the accounts of all fees received from MGI since they came into the Gambia and you started working with them.
Okay.
All right. When you come back, we will discuss the MGI gateway management as well as the contracts that you carried out on their behalf in detail on Thursday. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do understand.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have for this witness. For today.
Ma, I would like to ask the Commission if I could allow to travel for a week. Because I'm working on a project in South Tome where I was supposed to travel since a few days back, but I was asked to stay around for further clarification. If I can be given an allowance for 10 days to go and sort out those issues that I come back. But in the meantime, I'll work on this document and provide them before I'm allowed to travel.
Very well, that's reasonable. You want 10 days?
Yes, Chairman.
All right.
So could you be precise as to 10 days from today
I would say the very day I could have a next available flight, probably I will stay around to work on the documents. If we can start counting from next week, Monday, because I would like to make sure that we provide all these documents that have been requested before I travel.
Very well. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. No. It's 1 o'clock. 10. Oh, that's true. Council, we have only 10 minutes left.
Sorry?
We have only 10 minutes left.
I can see that, and there was no break, so we can take a break now and come back next week. That's
all right. Very well. Yes. You'll come back, and you'll be notified.
Yes.
Or we can fix the date now.
Yes.
What's your date according to your calendar?
5th of March.
6th of March.
5th.
5th.
Yes. I'm afraid we can't give any longer because we press for time now.
You'll come back on the 5th of March.
Thank you.
10 o'clock.
All right. We'll adjourn to Monday, the 26th of